baby contra. And that comes over natural baby. When they could even show by the people that did it. So what the profile could be so what the camera would not be doing money. Then the police will make it know. That might be the Nebuza. The one to the that a band George shit money of the city. Just coming in, but I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll be on the I think my wife like it goes when one has to get in 24. When we saw what the coming from, we have to one what we can do. I mean, just fully above I have, but not much effort. Much effort, the mother, the only place that you behind. If you want to carry place that you want by me, so we said, you love it. Just down with and that. Never see that we put a most systems is okay, I told you. And you know, scrap the carry that the market, that is it. Never think that I go with it. Say, we don't have a pretty much whatever we say, no, but people own a deal. Say, right, you want to win it. We like to know what I do is that the nurse, you want to be in that for the so called. One tell you when you try to what's up here. But if you don't want to say, oh, we are going to try to make come to. What we do, me come and what we do when we go in and in lucky box. That's all the man, you know. Me say, give me three pajama, four pajama shorts together. Give me three underpants, and then me buy three big rug and three little towels. I will me go up and change my fire. Me wipe up and change the clothes. It's very nervous. So when I leave, you know, my sister that live in Fire, my sister live in the state, in Gibraltar, I mean, they go on, we are going, man, I'm going. So I was living on that would be. So I said, let me bicycle, me go on here. I said, let me bicycle. And because I Jamaica, I tell my sister, I say, well, you might be telling my clothes and things. Try if you can go, I say, all right. All right, because when I give us the bicycle, when she came to the Charlie, one lady go home in India, she come from Punjab. But that part of India where she come from, based on what I heard, there is no lady in Jamaica from that section of India. They can say, like the back with it. That's what I heard, I don't know which it is. No lady, the woman is big and corrupt, you know. But she know things, Indian thing. Him say, father, him say, son, your father, he that stinking dirty thing, him is out of father. She look at him, you know, pork. You know, Muslim, Cuban Muslim, you know. Him out of father. Him lucky, lucky. All right, so in the same time, you're nice in the background. You're nice.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, in the same time, before me leave here, me tell my mother to go to Baba, one place, my Indian man, come from in the 1910. All right, me say, go up on the wagon. So, you know, me go meet her up on the bus. Or send me a banana, that in the bus park, but I got told. So, me say, what me say, in technical language, say, me eat something when I agree with him. Him say, all right. And me somehow can't believe that me hold the phone on me user. Him say, all right, until I what we do, and so take him out Thursday. And me go and tell doctor. He say, what happened? That a man, no man, no. He say, what happened? You go and bush doctor? Me say, no, sir. And we take him out and the man come on Friday morning and do him video on Saturday. And me somehow can't believe me. You don't want to create me out. They tell me Saturday, just show him my free and cutting language. Before I want to get up, it's all right. Take time, it's another language. Take time, soon get up. And I'm going and going and after the peace and thing, we feel giving me with the canting, but it's no room. But you don't tell him now, and you go, Mr. Thomas room. I tell you, man, well, it's Sunday morning. The can't go about stuff. No, no, among the big time in the grasswood. His family too. So we can go there. When you go there, this how you so the man put him in a car and carry him up. For him family, him deal with him too. And Mr. Malcolm, the evening you put up yard, no, me must be not sleep much. And then I did food to the church. My wife said, mustn't cook. I no food on yard, so we go on some. We shower up here, Mr. Webber. He said,
See if you
God,
can
up here.
take us to the moral of the story, Mr. Coombs, because we have others who want to get on.
Me no, what you want to do, that's all right, whatever. And me swing got a garden. So me go down and see me do my shit, and him take my shit by me. So we are out and say, then, me not right now, me say, come. So when I come back, come and you go beside you, and the bar, few of them, and go to bed, you say, no. So I'm going to the story, you know, the doctor pass our morning and evening. And you stop, you say, Mr. Combs, Daddy Combs, why the man every time, You call you stay and you have to go forward, Anyway, thanks for listening. You get you
All right, thank you for sharing. Quite a story. We're still encouraging you to put together a compendium of those stories that might become quite valuable to family members and others. Thank you, Mr. Coombs. Let's go to the WhatsApp line, same as the text line. This looks like Balti in Baltimore. Didn't make him out at first. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm blessed, my brother. How are you? You got it right this time. Yes. How are you?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, my brother. I can't complain at all. Cannot complain. Good to hear your voice again, as I said the other day. And I finally get chances now. I said, boy, I have to touch base with my ambassador. Any chance I get. Dervan, I have a concern. I really do, and I want to express it.
Please do.
But first of all, I'm somewhat pleased that I hear Pete Duncan, and there was one other person I heard that began to advocate the very thought I've been having to do with, this impasse between government and opposition is so sad. And it's sad because I can distinctly remember when the current Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, assumed that position. He gave the impression that he acknowledges that, quote unquote, old style politics in Jamaica has not served the country well, and that it was his intention to bring a new type of politics to advance the country much more than we have so far. And the business of communication was a key component to that. Unfortunately, over the period, the Prime Minister seemed to have morphed right back into the same old style, tit for tat, never forget the past, bring it up as often as you can, talk in terms of description of opposition members, whether they agree with you or not, in terms that will require them in turn to respond, and here we go, round after round. Now let's look at this whole business of the state of emergency that was called. I mean, the baby on the breast could tell you that based on what's happening, the opposition are not going to support, as presented currently, the state of emergency. Now, this last time, the Prime Minister kind of hinted and gave the country a little feeling that there was communication, because I remember he said something to the effect that there was informal communication or something to that effect, but it would give you the impression that there was dialogue between the leader of the opposition and himself, which of course the leader of opposition very, very quickly after that denied that, there's such a thing. Now, obviously, what's been used by the government of going on political platform, going in parliament, in opening of different things, and using those opportunities to cry down, and this is my term, to cry down the position of the opposition, it has not worked. And so it seems to me that if that hasn't worked, doubling down on it and keep doing it, not going to make it work. What is needed, as Mr. Duncan has advocated, is that there needs to be behind the scene, no camera, no media, none of that. Something of a, if not formal veil royal, but something where we both sides sit in a room. We put it all on the table and we go and we iron it out, and we don't come to any conclusion until we get to a compromising position where we all agree, okay, we give and take. There has to be give and take.
Absolutely. In any relationship.
Yeah.
One moment, please. Don't move. One moment.
Listen to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture. The Issa Manning Cup Schoolboy Football Competition is in full swing, and Power Play will bring you live reports and updates on the football matches. Listen to every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Live reports will be brought to you by Chada Distributors Limited, KFC, and LS Duane and Company Limited.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Online, we have one of our long-standing listeners, or at least, well, what year are we in now? 2022?
Yes.
It's been more than 20 years, actually. Balti in Baltimore.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has been. I'm telling you. Yeah. Like I said, the last 5-7 years has been more listening for me than anything else due to work commitment. But thank goodness we're around that corner. So you'll be here now more frequently for me. But as I was saying, Dervan, it is so heartrending to believe that the government side is doubling down. And whatever it is that is put in the public space by the opposition, it is responded to in negative terms. This then required the opposition to defend themselves and they themselves to describe the government and their position in negative terms. This is taking us nowhere. And as the Prime Minister rightly said, the whole purpose of this thing, as it stands, is to save lives. Sure. Remember, it's not a game, however, and I was a little disappointment to hear coming from his heart, because sometimes, as it says, what comes out of the mouth does come from the heart. When the Prime Minister was making reference to, even if it's how many lives saved, I won and you lose. Absolutely not. Everybody loses. Yeah. There is no victory. This is not a game thing. And it's being treated as a political game by both sides. It has to stop. Yeah. It has to stop, and it cannot be solved in the public foray with a pronouncement or even with the pronouncement in Parliament. There has to be outside of Parliament direct communication between the two, and there's give and take, and there's a compromise in the because I genuinely believe that regardless of how the position of the opposition stands, they are themselves interested in the betterment of the country and the safety of the people of the country. And so if that's the purpose, that is the goal. We no matter what we do, this is the goal that we have to work to. Yeah. And so I honestly hope that the powers can get to, because again, it starts with the Prime Minister. He's the leader of the pack. Get to the Prime Minister and say, boss, we have to try something different. This is not going to work. It hasn't worked, and it's not going to work.
And this is where we really have to rely on, and they have to elevate themselves as well. Not elevate, but to not be backward in coming forward. If their expertise, their intelligence, their data gathering, their surveillance give them cause for pause and take certain actions, then they must be clear. I mean, it's national security. They can't say everything, but we must get a sense that the decisions that are being made are informed by those who have the acumen, the know-how, the experience to be able to come to certain conclusions and therefore offer certain words of advice to the Prime Minister and the Defense Council, who ultimately will make a decision on how to proceed.
Absolutely. I mean, take this simple example of the opposition making a proposal about making special rules to hold on to the quote unquote the 300 and so violence producers. I was so disappointed to hear. Rather than said, "Oh, that is very nice. We are so glad you're bored and you're." Instead of doing that, the first thing you talk about is that they're plagiarism. Now, once you start to do that, you're not encouraging me to have dialogue with you.
And then
And as
having
soon as
said
he
that,
does that, as he's
having
right,
said that, the records show that it didn't come from the prime minister, but it in fact came from the police commissioner at the
see,
time,
see.
who was putting that forward. Yes.
But you see what happens the moment the prime minister said that. Here comes the general secretary of the opposition and defending and going back, and the political game continues. And in the meantime, the problem still persists.
Yes.
I mean, you know, this has to stop somewhere. And I'm so glad voices like Keith Duncan is saying to both sides, we have to ratchet down the politics. It's not even election. It's not, well, quote unquote, this local election in some a part of this discourse. And so even when they're elected, it seems that they're in a campaign mode, even after they're just elected. Why is that? And this is not serving the country well. We are where we are because of that type of politics. Someone has to take that high road and decide, even when there are negative sentiments that are expressed, let's overlook that. Okay, we understand. Let's move on. We have a common goal. Let's work towards that. And so, in a way, I'm kind of glad when I heard, I think it was yesterday, that the opposition hinting that they're willing to work with the government. This is an opportunity.
Yeah.
No matter what has been described so far, tell you what, let's take the bull by the horn. And we're not going to do this in public. It's not going to work in public. You cannot go on a political platform and make certain kind of statement, and then the next minute you expect that I'm just going to come in and just be smiling. It doesn't work. We have to tone it down, and we have to compromise, and we have to give and take, and that's what the country is crying for right now.
After all, because it doesn't matter who sits in Jamaica House, whoever sits there will have to deal with the same problems, the same limited resources, etc., etc.
Absolutely. And so it is my earnest plea that both sides, let's get the job of securing the country once and for all. And this can be done if we. And by the way, by toning it down, you're also setting the tone on a general sense.
That's right.
Because when yes, because when you tone it down and others see the civility that's in,
then they become
that's very contagious.
Yeah, and then they feel like the odd ones out, and that in and of itself might just embarrass them into changing their ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're spot on. You're spot on.
I'm telling you, Dervan, it's really been on my mind for a while, and I say, you know something, I'm gonna join the voice, call in for civility at this time, at no other time, this time of year.
Yes.
Let's give and take. Let's get out of this public trade, and let's get in a room. Let's get the dialogue going. Then disagreement will exist. It's going on.
Yeah.
But this is where give and take comes in. So it is my hope that somehow the message gets through, and that someone it has to start somewhere. Mr. Prime Minister, I'm suggesting take the high road. And people like the Minister of Works or whatever, Edward Warmington, put a lid on him. Put a lid on him. Because you might be trying one effort, but before you know it, he goes on a platform and the whole thing comes undone. People like that, you have to muzzle them. You have to. The country requires much more and much better.
Well, it is clear, and usually when I say this, I put in the disclaimer that it doesn't necessarily have to be, it doesn't necessarily relates to the age of the individual, but we've been saying for many years now that some people in this country need to be retired in the public interest. Some of us
Amen.
need to be retired in the public interest.
Amen.
Yeah.
And it's a natural progression.
That's
because
right.
some people have been here for so many. There have been generations that has grown up from before birth, have gone on, and still there are just some people that seem to be holding on forever. So you're absolutely right. Absolutely right, my friend. As the holidays approach, be safe, take care, and all the best to you and the listeners. And I certainly will be having conversation more frequently.
Looking forward to that. Thank you, and the very same to you and your family.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Take care. One of our longtime listeners, Balti in Baltimore, speaking with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Apologies to Janine Shepherd and Solomon Sharp and Darren Angus, and of course, the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, because I did promise to pass by for the Farm the Future Symposium, which was held at the Grand Spen Peace Park. Didn't get to go because I had an engagement this morning, which took me right into afternoon and pretty close to work time. In fact, I got to work just about 7 minutes in the yard trying to find parking. 7 minutes to 2 o'clock this afternoon. And here we are going on till 5 o'clock. So apologies to Janine Shepherd and Minister Delroy Chuck, Solomon Burke of Main Event Entertainment Group, and Darren Angus of Youths for Excellence. We trust it was a rewarding experience. Well, it's still going on. In fact, I think isn't it 10 to 6? I think it's 10 to 6. I wouldn't even bother to try to get to the Peace Park in Grand Spen for 6, because the traffic alone is going to ensure that I don't get there before 6, and I finish here at 5, just after 5. So we hope we get another opportunity at the Farm the Future series of symposiums. Thank you for your work, those who are involved in making a difference on the ground here across the length and breadth of Jamaica, land we love. Let's continue. Where are we now? It looks like we're going to the This is Jamaica feature. Normally it's on a Tuesday, but we have a new feature, NLA and You, which airs the last Tuesday of every month, which was yesterday. So instead of doing a bit of a hopscotching, we have shifted the This is Jamaica interview segment on both sides of the story to 3:30 on a Wednesday afternoon. And that's what we're going to do in just a moment.
Sector. They offer and promote excellent patient care, laboratory and customer service at affordable prices. They also offer DNA testing. See their general practitioner, OBGYN, and physiotherapist. Compassionate Care Medical Center. Shop 6 Art Finder Plaza, 2 West Henderson Boulevard, Greater Portmore. Call 876-627-5466 or 876-870-9604. Both sides of the story. Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling it? How much much is your property worth? Tune in to both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better. It's riveting, thought-provoking, and interesting. It's the morning agenda on Power 106 FM. Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. Join Jody and Quarry on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Sanjay Lewis on Wednesdays and Thursdays. On the alternate
This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land.
Weekdays, 7:15 to 9 a.m. only on Power 106 FM.
This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear, I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mist crashing upon the shores, where all are born. Only if you as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe. Our hearts beat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I die away from my island, I pray to God you'll take me home.
Thank you so much, Peter Gracie, the poet and author of This is Jamaica. We've been for quite a number of months now sharing with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad, the details of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022, a collaborative effort. This is Jamaica in association with Dr. Dwayne Dice of Education Solutions International Incorporated. And it's a call to the young people of Jamaica for the best video rendition of This is Jamaica by Peter Gracie. And you have responded. And I believe Peter Gracie and his team are just about ready to give us the details as to who won and when are we going to be able to hear and see and get an idea of how the competition would have gone. So that's where we are this afternoon, and who better to tell us all about it than Peter Gracie himself. Good afternoon, Mr. Gracie. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. You're looking fine, man. I love the suit. I love the suit.
You're very kind.
I'm doing great myself.
Wonderful. And you're busy as well. I've seen footage of you handing out what look like flyers or cards, and you also, as I understand it, have been busy making sure that you'll be ready for the grand finale of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition. And I'm sure there are other things that you do. After all, This is Jamaica itself is an organization, a movement. So how are you managing? And then right in the Christmas season now, where there are all kinds of things happening. How is it going? Let's start there.
Oh my gosh, when I look at myself, but but yeah, it's going good. Right now is to get this poetry scholarship competition going. The final is going to be aired this Sunday at 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel, YouTube/This Is Jamaica. Just to remind you that the mission of the This Is Jamaica organization is to empower the children of Jamaica to restore and preserve the Jamaican culture through poetry and the creative arts. And that's our focus. There's no other focus to this. This is Jamaica. And we stick to what we say, we stick to what we believe in. And it has been going great. There's no hiccups. And we're very, very, very excited to announce the winners on Sunday, December 4th at 7 p.m.
So listeners, listen up. For those of you who've been listening on a weekly basis to the This Is Jamaica interview segment here on both sides of the story, and you perhaps have been wondering, so who won the scholarship prizes? Well, all of that will be known on Sunday evening at 7. The stream will be on the This Is Jamaica YouTube channel, right, Peter Gracie?
That is absolutely correct. There's other platforms who we were targeting to bring the program live, which is like platforms like Jamaican.com. Our good friend over there, Xavier Murphy. Sorry, not Xavier. Let me say it right. Xavier Murphy. I don't want to chop up his name, but he's been so gracious. Even yourself, Dervan, you've been so gracious throughout the year, and I just want to say I really, really, really appreciate what you do, because this is not about me. This is not about any individual. This is about the children of Jamaica. This is what it's about. Nothing else and no one else.
Mm-hmm. And from all indications, you would have seen them, heard them, and read about them as well in terms of the participants in the This Is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022. How would you characterize in the end? I mean, you've at some point told us about the event, etc., the competition, etc. But now, having experienced what you have experienced, not for the first time, because this is the second year, as I understand it, having experienced all that has happened in this year's edition, the second annual Peter Gracie This Is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022. What is your analysis, perspective, feeling on all that has unfolded so far?
There's a lot to learn because we are really focused on the cognitive phase of the early childhood education, which to make sure that children are aware of their surroundings and give them something of substance to hold on to. Each morning they can say this poem, which gives them a sense of culture. One of the reasons why it was so important to announce this in September is because that's also Miss Lou's birth month, and we want to make sure that that we stick to the area of poetry and the creative arts. Now, some things that we have learned throughout this year, is that the response that we were looking for wasn't there as much as it was last year. Last year, everyone was in COVID; they were locked away, so they had more time to do a lot of things.
You had a captive audience then.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. So we had last year over 200 applications, about 79 to 80 video renditions. This year it was not as many, but nevertheless we got video renditions in. We had some challenges because kids had exams and things like that, and so it was difficult for them to get their videos in. But we had to stick with the rules. You know, the rules were the rules, and some of the videos came in late, and we could not break the rules, and it was very disheartening. You know, because you want to include everybody. You
Yes.
know, but we're going to make some adjustments for next year and make sure that we figure out how to make sure that everyone gets their video in, either extend the time or help them out in some way or whatever it is. But the experience has been great. We've learned a lot. We've met a few kids along the way who have displayed their talents, man. They're so talented. Right now on Sunday, when you tune in, you'll see the six finalists.
Yes.
And the reason why we have 6 is because we normally have a top 10, and 4 showed up late, and a few of the videos had copyright music in it that was being muted by on social media, and also some of the videos were dark. You couldn't see the kids and all that, so we had to eliminate a few. So we have a top 6, and the top 6 kids. We have Hannah Taser Cunningham. She's 8 years old, and she's from Port Maria Primary. We have Annalie Mears. She's also 8 years old. She's from Lititz Primary. We have Marian. She's also.
Sorry. If you could go back to your original position, assuming that you made some change or shift, that should
Can you hear
help.
me better?
Yes, yes. So if you could go back to, I think you were listing the names of the participants, the finalists.
Yeah. So Anatavia Morgan, 8 years old. She's from Port Maria Primary. We have Annalie Mears. She's 8 years old. She's Lititz Primary.
Mhm.
And as you would normally say it, they're Lititz, but they tell us. We have Marian Morgan. She's also 8 years old, from Redwood Primary. We have Tia Harris. She's 15 years old. She's from Knox College. We have Antoine Mayer. He's 14 years old. He's from St. Elizabeth Technical High School. And we have Ramona McLean. She's 13, and she's from St. Andrew High School there in Kingston.
Mhm.
So it's very interesting. The spread looks
The
quite
age,
interesting.
the age groups. Mhm.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see who will take home $1,000 prize for first prize, $500 for second prize, and $250 for third prize.
And remind
US
us of,
dollars then.
yeah, US dollars, important. 1,000 first prize, 500 second prize, and 250 US dollars third prize. So that's the situation. Now, in terms of your partners, sponsors on board, tell us about that relationship and what that kind of support means to the This Is Jamaica movement.
Our title sponsor is Education Solutions International, Dr. Dwayne Dice, and Dr. Dwayne and Mrs. Dice. They were so instrumental in getting this going through the Jamaica Teachers Association and into all the classrooms. And the communication is excellent. They're very driven. They're very, very active when it comes to children and education. And they stepped in when we needed them, and they allowed us to perform this scholarship. And I just want to say a big thank you to Dr. and Mrs. Dice.
One moment, please. We'll allow you to complete that thought after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Are you in the manufacturing and distribution sector having trouble finding quality heavy-duty equipment for your daily operations? Well, look no further. Robinson's Forklift Repairs and Services is here to help. They specialize in rentals, repairs and servicing, and the sale of new and used forklifts ranging from 2.5 to 18 tons. They also have skid steers, backhoes, and wrecking services available. Their experienced staff is ready to serve you. Visit 19 Retirement Crescent or call 876-754-4712. Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Make it a date Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. It will be time for the grand finale of the second annual Peter Gracie This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022, a collaborative effort in terms of sponsors. This is Jamaica in association with Dr. Dwayne Dice, Education Solutions International Incorporated. And going to the break just now, Peter Gracie was thanking Dr. and Mrs. Dice for their support of the Poetry Scholarship Competition. Mr. Gracie?
Yes, thank you. Also, I want to make sure that I include our fine judges that were able to choose to go through and choose the winners when it's time to do so, which is Dr. Andrea Thorpe, retired pediatrician and board member of This is Jamaica. Also, we have our ambassador, Sophia Nicholson. They were both judges, very instrumental in the direction of This is Jamaica, the organization. And other players involved was yourself, Dervan. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you for all the supporters and the listeners that listened to your program and followed you on both sides of the story, and also to the parents and the teachers that's been supporting us for the past 2 years. It's very important that we acknowledge the parents and the teachers for allowing their children to participate. And so we remain very successful at reaching our target mission, and we look forward after this to 2023.
Indeed, and it may or may not be too soon, but are there particular features of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022 that you might consider tweaking? For example, the period of time when the competition takes place, and other elements. Just checking if there's anything that pops up at you that, having examined this year's competition, you've decided, you know what, or you're considering whether to make some adjustments here and there.
We were thinking about making a few adjustments as far as dates, because it kind of clashed a little bit with exams for the children, and we want to make sure that they're focused. They are very focused on their
exams.
Mm-hmm. Because we are giving monies towards their school and their education, and we don't want This is Jamaica to interfere with their scholastic endeavors or anything like that. So we're thinking about tweaking around the dates and all that. What we found is you cannot give too much time as far as deadlines, because once you give them that time, there's just something about procrastination. They start and it never gets done or whatever. So we try to give them this window where they just get it done. So maybe we have to do some form of survey, go back to the lessons learned, and see go back to the board and see what we need to do to encourage even more kids to get involved a little bit more.
Mhm. And what about well, you mentioned your team of judges. Any other individual, institution, organization that you would like to acknowledge at this time, even as we look forward to the grand finale of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022 on Sunday evening at 7 on YouTube, the This is Jamaica YouTube channel?
Well, I want to acknowledge our board members, the president, which is Karel Chang, our vice president, Adrian Allen, our treasurer, Sharon Lofton, and our secretary, Dion. They have been very supportive. We also want to thank last year supporters that was the Kiwanis Club of Lauderdale, because we had to go through them last year before we formed our own 501c3. So they're on board, and we want to make sure that we try to get everyone around the diaspora involved in these things, because it's very important that we look to our children. Years from now, they're going to be in our seat, and we want to make sure that we leave a solid foundation for them.
Yeah. What about other individuals, institutions, organizations reaching out to This is Jamaica? Has that been happening, and to what extent have you been able to fashion or to build a relationship or to pursue particular opportunities for partnership?
There are a few organizations that have reached out, but we have to be very careful of who we work with, because we don't want to take away the mission. We don't want to thing that goes against what the mission is.
Yes.
Goes against what the mission is.
Yes.
And that has reached out and they want to get involved, but sometimes it comes with a little politics, and we want to make sure that we kind of stay clear of that, because that's not what it's about.
Yes.
But we've had organizations like even the Kiwanis Club who showed interest. They wanted to get involved again. We have organizations, even organizations like Jamaica Men of Florida. They like what we're doing, like to get involved also. There's a few new organizations that I've met or gained partnership with in Central Florida, and we're going to see if we can expand next year, expand the competition, not only in Jamaica, but the kids within the diaspora that also needs monies for education and things like that. And we've gotten a few people that have reached out saying that they would actually sponsor a diaspora version of This is Jamaica. This year, we also worked with an organization in Michigan where they did their own version of This is Jamaica that was very successful, and the Caribbean Development Center, they did their own version, and that went very well. We also partnered earlier this year with the consulate, and we provided We also partnered earlier this year with the consulate, and we provided information, and not information, but we provided programs with our kids for the Emancipation Celebration in South Florida. And what that means for us right now is that any winner of This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition becomes ambassadors, will become an ambassador, and then they will be involved in these programs, because we're going to make sure that we give them the exposure, get them on the Caribbean Edge Kids, very instrumental, get them on the Caribbean Edge Kids, get them on both sides of the story to talk about their experience, and see if we can even give them the opportunity to even travel to United States to get involved in some of the programs that we're doing. Our job is to expose these kids through poetry and the creative arts.
Well done. So far, so good. And it's a sign of things to come. We want to congratulate you on the tremendous work that you and the team have done so far. And in building this brand, This is Jamaica, and to the benefit of our young people, our children, our students. And we're definitely looking forward to, first of all, this Sunday evening at 7 via the This is Jamaica YouTube channel, and finale of the second annual Peter Gracie This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition. Spread the word. These are Jamaican students from institutions that you're familiar with. We could perhaps do you have that list with you, Mr. Gracie, just to remind us which institutions these students are affiliated with, so that their fellow students might see that as, or take that as a sure reason why they should log on and watch and listen and cheer them on.
Yes, so very good question. So let me just say this: when the application comes in, we have students from all over the island. But right now, the final 6 is from Port Maria Primary, which is again Hanatave Cunningham, 8 years old. Littitz, I can never say that right.
No, it's all right. It is pronounced in Jamaica as Littitz, but those of us who know and have done a little reading, we have found that it's actually Litz. But this is Jamaica. I mean, the people from Ruby, because of Jamaica, they have had to accept the pronunciation Rubis in Jamaica. So it's no big deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So Littitz.
Mm-hmm. Littitz.
Yes.
Littitz Primary, Knox College, Redwood Primary, St. Andrew High School for girls in Kingston, and we have St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Those are the 6 finalists. Sounds like a fair representation of and I like the spread and the involvement of I think I heard mostly rural. Was it mostly? St. Andrew High School is in town. That's in the corporate area. The others are rural, aren't they? I think. Yeah, these are mostly rural schools. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that we can our spread is far and wide, because it just shows that our reach is getting there, and it just gets better and better each year. Absolutely. Well, we'd love to talk some more with you. We thank you very much for your time and for sharing with us, giving us the very latest on the second annual Peter Gracie This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022. And don't want to conflate or mix the two, but we have to talk. We haven't talked with you yet about your candidacy for the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, Southern United States. We'll have to talk off air to arrange a date for that. Yes, definitely. I respect your program. I respect your platform. I respect what we're doing. So I never want to mix anything. Yes. I want to make sure that what I'm on your program is what we said we're doing is exactly what we're doing. Yes. I don't want to mess anything up and put any type of that's valid. Some people may say it's political or whatever. So yes. I don't want to put that in. But what I can say is this: if you're familiar with who Nikki Giovanni is, she is one of the, if not arguably the greatest Black poetess or Black poet alive. And I'll be performing on the same stage with her this weekend, also in Daytona Beach. Nice. So, yeah. So they drew me in to to do something special this weekend. And if anyone knows who she is, she was like a mentor for Muhammad Ali, Rosa Parks. She helped these people to write poetry and mentor them through their when Muhammad Ali.
Why did you wait until so late? It's 4 o'clock now, and we need to break. That's wonderful news. We'll have to talk. That will start our next conversation. Definitely. But we have to go. We have to leave it here. All right, hold on.
Thanks a lot for having us. Thanks a lot for having us, and thanks a lot for your continued support, Dervan. You've been great throughout the years, and I just say we couldn't have done this without you.
I'm humbled and honored to hear you say that. Thanks a lot. Well done to you and the team. All the best.
Thank you very much. You have a good one.
You too. Take care.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4:01 on Power 106.
You know what I count, yeah. Hey, me count, you count. Census say all of we count. Hey, you count, me count. Census say all of we count. Hey, information needed to develop the community. Them scouts them out and I get the reports. So don't bother hide when you see them. Census 2022.
The Jamaican census will be conducted between September and December 2022.
You count, me count.
Treat yourself to famous Jamaican jerk dishes at Sweetwood Jerk Joint. Succulent pork, chicken served with mouth-watering side orders. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, open every day. Call 876-906-4854 or come to 78 Knoxville Boulevard in Kingston in a secured environment. Across from Emancipation Park, all COVID-19 protocols observed. Sweetwood Jerk Kingston in a secured environment. Across from Emancipation Park, all COVID-19 protocols observed. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, the home of Jamaican jerk. Power 106 FM celebrates December 30 years at Going Strong. It is our Pearl Jubilee. From our shores to foreign lands, from hurricanes to floods, from music to talk, from sporting events to the country's Diamond Jubilee, and every celebration and activity in between, we have covered it all. Power 106 FM, a Pearl in Jamaican radio. 30 years of service to our nation. Let's celebrate together.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:02. Make that son las 4:03. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:03. 现在几点了？10点03分. 3 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And let's see. Let's clear these messages on Facebook Live first. Norman Hines in St. Thomas, good afternoon to you too. And we accept afternoon greetings on behalf of the listeners. Velta Wilson, also in St. Thomas, good afternoon. She says, I'm here battling the flu, says Velta Wilson. Get well soon, Velta Wilson. All the best. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a great day, and you do likewise, Cherry Henry. Nicola, somewhere in central Jamaica. Good afternoon to you. How are you? Huey Rose is tuned in as well. Good afternoon, Huey Rose. Joan Edgehill says, wonderful endeavor. Looking forward to watching this Sunday. And that's in reference to the grand finale of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition, which is on Sunday at 7, Sunday evening at 7 Eastern Standard Time. A gentle reminder that we're on the same time. And let's go over to WhatsApp and see what's up. What do we have here? Inez Iona Campbell says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan. I was not able to get that info for Mr. Young. Is it possible to send it to me, please? And thanks. Let's see now if we can bring up this information from yesterday. Let's see. Let's see if we can bring it up. Let's do this and that. And right, so it was the contact information that you wanted. Let's go down the line here. All right, let's do this and that. So it's NLA and you. Let's see what we come up with. NLA and you feature. All right, we're not seeing the actual sheet with the information. Let's see. Let's try another tact. Let's do this and see if we can find it in this mailbox, which is in the thousands right now in terms of messages. So let's do this and that. We're just trying, see if we don't get it done now, it perhaps might never get done. So we have to make sure we get it out of the way. We have the information, we just need to bring it up. And sometimes that means searching through tons of email messages. Let's see. All right, let's see. This looks like it. Let's bring this up. Yeah, this looks like it. So we need to now find that section with the contact information. And it's taking a while to load. And I think we have it now. So we are going to share the contact details with Inez Iona Campbell. Here we go. So we're doing copy. Hold on. Come on. We need to copy the link. So where is copy? Copy. And then we're going to paste it so Inez Iona Campbell can see it. Here we go. So we're pasting now. It's there. It's all yours, Inez Iona Campbell. Contact information for the National Land Agency, and in particular for Mr. Young. You can follow up with him. All the best. Thanks for your message. Patriotic Jamaican in New York says, Mr. Malcolm, I think we Jamaicans must say thanks to Barbados for showing us the way to get things done. We don't seem to have people in our government capable of figuring these things anymore. So we have to depend on the other islands to lead the way as we follow. I hope Barbados does not allow Jamaica to use our contentious approach to things and mess up what they're trying to do. Thanks for your message, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. This one, let's go up the line. Cuban in Georgia is messaging us. He says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I'm back. You can't keep a good man, the overseer of the people's affair and concern, and get the government to act and do its duty and responsibility. The diaspora cannot be muzzled, and the parliament must be aware of this, says Cuban in Georgia. Not sure what that's all about, but thank you for your message, Cuban in Georgia. Jeannie Chambers says, good afternoon, teacher. Me love the look, real boss. That's very kind of you to say, Jeannie Chambers. Thank you very much. And all the very best to you and yours. Let's continue now with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Over on YouTube, Sean Chambers is greeting us. Good afternoon, Sean Chambers. Millicent Morris says, looking fabulous. God's blessings and love to you too, Millicent Morris. Donovan Campbell says, good day, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. To you too, Donovan Campbell. Thank you very much for your message. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And now we're going to share with you, as we keep the lines open, 876-922-4112-5. Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, the British leader who guided Great Britain and the Allies through the crisis of World War II, was born at Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, England, on this day in 1874. Sir Winston Churchill was presented with the first key to the city of Kingston in 1953. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory however long and hard the road may be, for without victory there is no survival. Winston Churchill, May 13, 1940. The V sign is a hand gesture in which the first and second fingers are raised and parted, whilst the thumb and remaining fingers are clenched, with palm inwards. In the United Kingdom and some other English-speaking countries, it is an obscene, insulting gesture of defiance. During World War II, Winston Churchill popularized its use as a victory sign for V as in victory, initially with palm inwards and later in the war, palm outwards. In the United States, with a palm outwards and more recently inward, it is also used to mean peace, a meaning that became popular during the peace movement of the 1960s. And there's more on that, but we're going to leave that there for the time being, except to say that Winston Churchill visited Jamaica years ago, and he was given the key to the city of Kingston, the first person ever to receive the key to the city of Kingston. And let's go to the break. After the break, one of our regular callers from Florida is waiting in the wings.
When Christmas gets you feeling fine, put on your dancing shoes and come with me tonight. We are up till broad daylight.
listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:50. The Agri-Investment Corporation, an agency under the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, contributes to a viable agricultural sector by mobilizing finance and facilitating agribusiness investment. Products and services include providing agricultural lands for lease, developing business plans, connecting investors to local and overseas markets, and much more. Call them 923-0086 to discuss how they can assist you to manage your agribusiness, or visit their website, agroinvest.gov.jm, for more details. Agro-Invest, facilitating agribusiness investments.
Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington, during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-9224-11225, or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. All right, let's go to our regular caller from the state of Florida. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm here chilling. But before I go into my point that I have, with the World Cup, I notice it's always keep in the summer. Why keep this time of year?
Because of the weather conditions in Qatar.
Okay. But I also learned that the Iranian people want their football team that if they lose to the American, they cannot come back there. So I don't know if you get them on.
Not a thing, no go so.
Yeah, man, there's some news thing where them say if they lose, they cannot come back. Do you never hear about it?
No, I don't believe it.
Okay. So that's what kind of false news.
Well, I'm going to have to check the credible sources to see if there is any truth in that.
All right. Well, I guess this one I'm coming with now is not new news to you. I hear the two leaders, one accusing one that the point that him bring up about the Zozo before you the people, you must check them out and make sure say things in place before. The Prime Minister said him bring up that when he was in opposition and they shoot it down. So now that they might come back with it, I don't get to with them a deal with.
No, well, it wasn't the Prime Minister. It was the the police commissioner who had introduced this business of what do call it, pre-charge the detention. Yeah.
So let me explain that.
No, the point, I was just making the point that this business where the Prime Minister said it was plagiarized, that because he or his government had put that forward before. So it's not new. So it's the opposition repackaging what the then government did and is now presenting it as if it's something new.
Yeah, but well, if you bring it before and then shoot it down, so when can't bring it back again? I remember now, they are the guys who cannot get themselves.
Well,
some
people,
a small man, them.
Some people have gone the other route. They have said, hold on, if the previous JLP government had put it forward, or although it was really the police commissioner at the time, that it is clear that both sides agree with that particular approach. And if that is the case, then they should just go full speed ahead, because they're both saying the same thing.
Well, if me read the Prime Minister right, I think him kind of like a bit angry by the opposition and supporting the extension of this was, so he have a problem with them.
Well, he just has to deal with it.
Yeah, but remember now, yeah, the people safe with you, so I the best forward we want to take it.
That's right.
I know I'm under pressure. Sorry, I know I'm under pressure for get the crime thing under control, but you have to understand, say, this kind of job, you have to deal with the pressure when it comes, but don't make what I call, some decision that may come back and haunt him later on.
No rash decisions.
Yes, I think he need to come to his senses and say, listen, boss. Listen, people, we know we have a problem to deal with, but at the same time, we are trying to make it the best way for it. And I think they should train the police them to not I'm in Spanish Town there, and I see, don't know if they were sleeping or what, but I see things are going this thing.
Yeah, there have been lots of pictures and videos of sleeping police, literal sleeping police, and soldiers.
So the doors are in tonight.
According to the Constitution, yes.
So what is the next move
now? Would you want to? I would humbly suggest you put through a call to the Prime Minister and ask him what is the next move. Yes. Well, we shall hear what we shall hear.
All right, boss.
All right. Thanks for the call. You're going to work now, or not today?
Yeah, nothing with it. No, I'm going. So this time I called her. I'm going to get my list out, and so I can have a longer conversation. But let's see what happens tomorrow.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm and the overseer and the watchdog for the people's business and affairs, and I need answers from the cabinet about the equipment and the supplies provided by taxpayers' funds to the police station and maintenance of the vehicles department at the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and who is in charge to supply our police stations across the 14 parishes of Jamaica. And is Jamaica running on the practices of democracy and democratic principles, Sir Malcolm? I wonder. Up to now, yes. As far as we know and we have seen and experienced, yes. Inez Ayona Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and viewers. A rainy and cold day in Bridgeport, Connecticut, is it? Inez Ayona Campbell, stay warm and dry. Stay warm and dry. That's all we can say at this stage. Stay warm and dry. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's go into the archives once again. Let's go to the year 2005. Here's a blast from the past. Attorney at law Greg Christie was sworn in as Contractor General by Governor General Sir Howard Cook at King's House. Mr. Christie replaced Derek McCoy, who stepped down from the post after 7 years. Mr. Christie was reportedly chosen for his background in corporate management, work in the local bauxite industry, and experience in project management and procurement. He was previously Vice President and Assistant General Counsel with the Global Commodities Business Unit of the Kaiser Aluminum and Chemical Corporation in Florida. Before working with Kaiser, he was the founder and chairman of a Jamaica credit reporting firm. He lectured full-time for 10 years at the University of the West Indies, UWI Law Faculty in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad. He also worked in the region as a legal consultant for private and public sector organizations, including the United Nations. Mr. McCoy's tenure was marked by incisive comments on the performance of the construction system, but also carried worrying revelations of cost overruns, improper tendering procedures, and evidence that public sector building sites were increasingly afflicted by organized criminal management and regulation of labor. That was news from 2005 right here in Jamaica. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm good. But sorry, even ask a dumb question. How are you? Because from your post, you know, it suggests written all over your face.
You're very kind.
Related to this state of emergency thing. Mr. Malcolm, you know, politics is a very ungrateful thing.
Politics or politicians?
Politicians.
Politicians, very ungrateful.
Yes, and expedient and convenient.
And opportunistic.
Exactly. You know the word cap all of them just say. Look, it's, you know, it deserves some reasoning in a politics. It's nice to reason politics, you know, and find the issues, you know.
Yes, especially if we do that in a sober way.
Yeah, but it's not encouraged. And that's why, and that's what bring the word convenient and opportunistic. We see one issue that makes us grow and condemn the other person. And sometimes the other person helps us to be where we are.
True.
And I don't like being ungrateful. I hate an ungrateful person, you know. I think it's the worst thing for me. You have to pay homage to the issue of things and not just the desires.
Yes.
Because we all got desires. But sometimes some power desire and order.
I think I heard someone once saying that ungratefulness worse than bad mind.
And it's true. All right. The government is asking the opposition to join with them to extend the state of emergency, right? The opposition refuses, citing his reason. Even if the reason is not sufficient enough to everybody, he did cite his reason. And for a long time, I've never seen Mr. Golden so confident in a presentation, in saying what his reasons were. It was abundantly clear, right? I'm saying, when the budget was announced, the budget was predicated on a 5%. Starting told them it was 10%, 10.7 then. The oil prices was predicated then at 67. And on the very day was reading the budget, oil price was $100.
One moment. Sorry to cut you, but we have to take a break. Hold it there and you can pick up on the point in a moment.
You're
listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Are you in the manufacturing and distribution sector having trouble finding quality heavy-duty equipment for your daily operations? Well, look no further. Robinson's Forklift Repairs and Services is here to help. They specialize in rentals, repairs and servicing, and the sale of new and used forklifts ranging from 2.5 to 18 tons. They also have skid steers, backhoes, and wrecking services available. Their experienced staff is ready to serve you. Visit 19 Retirement Crescent or call 876-754-4712.
I will let you have some of mine. Only right. Been working. Now this is my time to find. If you should feel the same way, just put on your new shoes and come. Yeah, let the Christmas get you in a
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在地点了5点加20分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding. You are setting the stage to take us through a discussion. I think you are mentioning the statistics, and just pick it up at that point for us, please.
When after the budget, the opposition finance minister and the opposition leader told him, asked him to spend 2% more of the GDP. Have been 40 billion. That amount to be 60 billion that he supplementary budget. Because over that period, inflation affected it from March. Why didn't he take that idea then? And it certainly had to come down the road. Why didn't he follow the opposition that if we're working together? Because this idea around the world,
Yes.
So you see, sometimes that brings in the convenience thing.
Yeah, well, this is the thing now. It's very easy for us to get caught up with ourselves. You know what we like to say on this program, man's biggest problem is a 3-letter word, EGO.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to yield.
Yes. But sometimes,
Yes.
to bring the society to the desired level, where the tolerance level we want, It has to be ordered, We have to see examples of it,
And more of us need to take the high road. That would help. That would make a difference. Yes.
It sure will.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go someplace and it's really clean, you think you want to check the garbage?
No, not at all. And that's it. That's another point we like to make. If there is an established culture in a particular place or a particular space or a particular community, country, school, etc., whoever enters that institution, that place, that country, that community at that particular point in time, he or she will either be turned off by what is there and go the other way, or might very well be drawn to it.
Yes, but it will be no middle road with that because it will be either or.
That's right.
Remember, when the JP was in power in 2011, 2012, we was in bad state economically, And that's why that brings me to the point of that thing. It's the same people that do condemning not being done are wanting to argue in the prison.
And we shouldn't have that, because here is something that has worked and is still working. And that is the management of our fiscal affairs in terms of the oversight body.
The establishment of that.
Yeah.
And because the 4 years agreement, the JP in your first term was actually
Sorry, I want to hear everything you're saying, but the audio now sounds a little crowded. I'm not sure if you can make any adjustment there.
You're saying that exactly what the point I was
alluding to.
The person who constructed the platform, the economic platform that buoyed the economy and is still doing so in their favor.
Except that I wouldn't say the person, because it's yeah, some key individuals were involved.
Yes, I understand that.
Yes.
I think somebody was involved with the legislation that came with the economic agreement, because you know legislation.
Mm-hmm.
It's traditional. Everything is traditional. So
right.
that's why binding things legally.
Yes.
So they were autopilot and still is. But to be innovative, crafting new ideas, it hasn't gone any fruit. It's a bankruptcy. When you sign a government game in your position, it's because they run out the ideas.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I usually don't worry about, well, let me take myself out of it, but the individuals can tell us a lot about who they are by virtue of how they behave.
But just like we say, Dervan, that conclusion is drawn in a society that is reasoned. We in the society we are encouraging is a society, a personality cult.
Yes.
We want to love somebody for whatever them is, a diehard.
Yeah, that's something that we need to change.
We must change that.
Yes.
We must change it because we can disagree, but we're not disagreeable.
That's right.
Because sometimes the case is neither of us is right.
True.
It's a case where both of us is good enough for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we should make the enemy, the good enemy perfect. But we're actually encouraging that personality thing, by the things we say, because we're so polarized. We're not reasoning, and this is especially to the men, because they did a statistic the other day where they say 80% of the people who graduate at higher learning were women. But that tells us the society we're in. When we're in a world where we say we are Christians, and at the Christian world, man is supposed to be the head of the house and head of the order. Not in a domineering way, but exemplifying. Where are we going?
Yeah, the late Tony Lang used to say, we left it up.
And that's right, to basically leave it up and then to put that back to all awareness. Because when you're aware, the second is almost a meeting. If you didn't like you just said, if you're going to stay with this or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I understand.
Yeah.
And the media have a part to take that. Investigation person is very enlightening. It's more reasoned.
I have to tell you, I'm trying my best to listen to you. I'm not sure what has happened to the audio. We're hearing, but it's not clean.
I was saying, only reason is when I encourage the tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reasoning. It should be formulated more from a parliamentary level we actually speak to the public rather than the truth like Dervan sometimes.
I am with you on that. In fact, there are certain characteristics that are important for those who occupy certain position. One of them in judgment. Judgment.
Sure, it's not by the person you're operating in. It can't be ordinary. You have to have guidelines when the person you're operating in. Because you're operating from a common sense and even power has to be ordered.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it has to be. We need more selfless people.
Yes.
People who are prepared to suppress themselves and their interests for the greater good.
One day when you talk to a member of parliament from either side of the political structure, I'd like to ask them where the allegiance should be to the people and to the people.
When I was in the midst of two education officials on the subject, in the field of education. One of them is the current minister, and the other is the opposition spokesman on education. I was hosting, and they were attending the relaunch of the Institute for Workforce Education and Development, part of the Manpower and Maintenance Services group. And I listened to both of them as they spoke, and they seemed quite agreeable. There was none disagreeing in any major way that I recall on what needs to be done and what has been done, and so on and so forth. So one wonders if it isn't the political theater that some people get carried away in when it comes the kind of shouting match that we see, that the media choose to pull and to play and to share.
Because that one of drives the adrenaline.
Yeah.
But then again, that with that type of thing, we
yeah.
So we're encouraging tolerance now. We'll be more forgiving to be such a Christian country. Because at least mention where we couldn't let country when I mean anybody intention forgiveness in the public area. I could do that either way.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to celebrate those who are the peacemakers.
Yeah,
yes, those who are prepared, as I said, to suppress themselves for the greater good. Those who are prepared to take the higher road.
Yeah, the unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Dervan, you have a good day, and your program enlightening as usual.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
See you there, Dervan. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Afternoon to Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Thank you for your message. Cuban in Georgia has a lot to say. What is he saying now, Sir Malcolm? What is the number for the Prime Minister? The overseer wants to talk to him. You can find that quite easily. Search for Jamaica House. Sir Malcolm, every single thing this administration does with taxpayer funds is politically motivated, and that's corruption in plain sight. Now, here's the thing now. We have to get it straight. Corruption essentially refers to the use of public resources for private gain. Public resources for private gain. And wherever that occurs, it must be dealt with. And if it's not dealt with swiftly and in keeping with the law, then it's going to lead to a situation where people feel they can get away with anything. Yeah. And what else is he saying here? And our senior citizens have to speak up about these undemocratic practices continue to prevail in Jamaica as the norm, as the new overseer of the people's business in Jamaica. That's Cuban in Georgia. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling Both Sides of the Story. Hello, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, how are you today?
I am fine, thanks. Good to hear from you. What's on your mind this afternoon?
My mostly listen and call these days, you know.
That's fine. The choice is yours. The choice is yours.
What I'm going to call from the East, who Mr. Person will call Ben eminently?
That's a good question. What did I hear the last time? I remember being in Harborview for a broadcast a few years now. And I was told, I'm trying to remember if I met him on that occasion in Harborview. Or I was told he was overseas. I'm not sure. Oh no, I'm mixing them up. I'm mixing up vehemently with the caller who used to say, greetings and peace profound.
Oh, but
Positive vibration, positive solutions. 3 things affecting this country: politics, crime, and an irresponsible opposition. That's what he used to say. I'm not sure what has become of him. If there's anybody out there listening who have heard anything, please let us know. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Kingston Logistics Center, KLC, for faster, easier, smarter shipping and logistics. We help you send, ship, clear, and store barrels, containers, and vehicles. We sell used containers, service refrigerated containers, and customize container homes and offices. Hate the stress? Think KLC. 876-757-5358 or visit www.klclogisticsja.com or 146 First Street, Newport West. KLC, for faster, easier, smarter solutions.
Honey, I will let you have some of mine. Only that been working. Nothing's
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. That's 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, each February or March in that time when the finance minister goes to parliament, Mr. Malcolm, when the budget is cast, Mr. Malcolm, it is not cast in stone, For example, if inflation is 5%, it's going to stay there, or interest rate, sir. Yeah, you're listening to me, Mr.
Yes,
Malcolm?
adjustments are made accordingly, and that's why you have what is called a supplementary budget.
Exactly, but some of these callers that is saying because Mr. The opposition leader, which is a man that I kind of like still since he's
Mark Golding.
Yeah. Him all right sometimes, just some of the time. Remember, Mr. Malcolm, sometimes they don't even reach what in the amount is not collected at the tax office, So they have to borrow it. So they have to go and borrow some money, whether from the World Bank or IMF, Mr. Malcolm.
Well, I'm not sure about the IMF in terms of
no, not the IMF. The World Bank really. They generally when they are low, when they are low and collecting taxes and so forth. So when you hear some people call even the 2% that they call a while ago, just saying that money wasn't going to anything special, just to give the constituency, Mr. Malcolm. You're going to just use $40 million and give out to people.
Well, the Constituency Development Fund, as I understand it, the funds are supposed to go directly to the entity that is procuring or providing goods or services. In other words, the politicians don't get that cash to put in their pockets.
Mr. Malcolm, sometimes when they are doing the bullet work and the work, they get that work sometimes. They get that money sometimes, Mr. Malcolm.
No, but it's not supposed to. If that is happening, it's not supposed to happen. The money is to go from the Constituency Development Fund to the... So if it is that there was supposed to be the purchase of 50 bags of cement.
Yeah.
So that whoever we're buying the bags of cement from, the Constituency Development Fund money moves from the fund to the company selling the 50 bags of cement.
You're absolutely right. But I think there's also a constituent officer that a development fund officer at the parliament employee now. He's the one that's supposed to go. And I think they're basically in short supply. That's why some of the time, some of the members, they can't spend the money in the kind of way urgent like what they want to spend. Not the lady in St. Anne, because she wasn't generally not doing anything. That had the 16 million out of the 20 left in almost now, and the year is almost finished.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of choices, and which is why we feel, and we keep repeating it, that there has to be a relationship between the constituents and their representatives, and it has to be that whenever it has to be that you hold a couple of town hall meetings. I say a couple, but I don't know, the start of a new year or the end of a year, whenever it is, to get some general feedback from the constituents, and you're all sitting together and identifying what should be the priorities for this constituency come 2023. And the people of the constituency, whichever party they support, the people of the constituency cause their voices to be heard in that respect. And we could have, I don't know, some independent-minded person, just to not to necessarily get involved, but to be able to adjudicate, to say, all right, this is feasible. Maybe some professionals, people who know how these things are.
I think you're right about that, and I don't think the consolidated fund should return to the
consolidated fund.
I don't think the constituency fund should return to the consolidated fund, Mr. Malcolm. It just look good. Because since you didn't give them already said that, and there's so many things and much things in the constituency to be done. I don't think it should be returned.
Yeah, as long as the hope is that what the money is well spent, saying you need a level of consistent consent, a level of consensus when it comes on to these matters. And every constituency has people, no matter what we think of the constituency, they have people who are either qualified, have some training, have some know-how, and can perhaps give an input. And then in the final analysis, a decision is made. Whether you vote at that meeting, that town hall meeting, you just vote yes or no for the particular project that is agreed on. But the idea is the entire constituency must agree on what the priorities. I don't mean every single individual, but a general consensus on what are the priorities or what should be the priorities of our constituency. And we insist that our representative or member of parliament plays his or her role in that regard. Plus, and not just the MP, but the caretaker the caretaker for the constituency.
You're right about that. But I think some of these constituencies, these members of parliament, these constituencies, some of them, Mr. Malcolm, it's badly running, Mr. Malcolm. It seems like some of the they just don't care. Some of the members of parliament, they don't care. They just come through and.
Well, that seems to suggest as well that if my late mother used to say, if doctor no care, why should sickness care, or something like that. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Malcolm, let somebody talk again, sir, and we call you back soon.
All right. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Multiple messages rolling in on YouTube. Let's see what's happening here. Keith Sampson says, Mr. Malcolm, that caller who is speaking about political ingratitude is one of the most rabidly partisan callers I have heard on the radio in some time. I'm not necessarily referring to his remarks. Well, again, as we've always said on this program, people are free to express themselves. People are free to support whichever political party they want to support. And people are free to express themselves. Now, some of us might wrongfully or rightfully receive that which is transmitted. So I could be right about what I heard and how it was said, or I could be wrong about what I heard or how it was said. There's that too. Keith Sampson says, today, but based on what I have heard from him over a period of time. So Keith Sampson is saying, I'm not necessarily referring to his remarks today, but based on what I've heard from him over a period of time. These tribalists, and I'm sure he would deny that, don't realize that partisanship restricts you to speaking to the choir. It is a dead end. And that's from Keith Sampson. Thanks for your message. Lenworth Parker says, Mr. Malcolm, nothing in Jamaica works. Well, that is an extremist position to take, to say nothing in Jamaica works. Anyway, the message says nothing in Jamaica works the way it's supposed to in Jamaica with regard to what the gentleman is saying. Patrick Howell says, Mr. Malcolm, this is Jamaica, the land of bandulus. Most of this CDF will straight into the pockets of MPs. Well, if you have evidence of that, bring it forward. We need to get to the point now where we bring evidence forward as opposed to continuing to speculate. If you have evidence, bring it forward. It is time come, to borrow the PNP's campaign slogan. Time come. It is time for people to speak up, speak out. If you have information, credible information on money going into pockets that it shouldn't be going into, speak up, speak out, take it to the necessary, to the pertinent party, as in individual, institution, organization. If you're not doing that, you are just as bad. You are complicit. Patrick, over to you. Right, let's move on. Thank you very much for your messages nonetheless. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Wednesday, the 30th and final day. It's the end of the hurricane season. The hurricane season, technically speaking, ends today, the 30th and final day in the month of November, the penultimate month of November 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
If your shoes start squeezing you, just kick them off, that's fine. Laughing should stop your feet from dancing. Come on, it's Christmas time. Yeah. Let the Christmas get you in a good mood. Let the Christmas get you feeling fine. Put on your dancing shoes and come with me tonight. We're gonna rock you broad daylight. Yeah. Let the Christmas get you in a good mood. Let the Christmas get you feeling fine. Put on your dancing shoes and come with me tonight. We're gonna rock you broad daylight. If your shoes start squeezing you, just keep them on, that's fine. Nothing celebrations stop your feet from dancing. Tomorrow is Christmas time. Yeah, let Christmas get you in a good mood. Let Christmas get you feeling fine. Put on your dancing shoes and come with me tonight. We're gonna rock you broad daylight.
You're listening to Power 106
Aye.
FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.